Hello there. Welcome back to Dis-Cember. I'm Scotty. You're not. And we are talking about today National Treasure. Yes, a movie I've been wanting to talk about for years. Another one I kind of wanted to put maybe the second year, but then I started doing Enter the Cage, so I thought I'd save it for that, but then I just never did it. This year I figured, fuck it. I'll do it this year. Fuck it, I'll do it live. I'll do it this year, and I'm gonna do the sequel. It'll be out this Saturday or Sunday. Excuse me, I looked at the schedule wrong. It's be Sunday's video, but we're talking about the first one here, and I like this whole franchise. Oh yeah, there's a franchise. You kidding me? There's this one. There's the sequel, which I'm mixed on, and then there is the TV series that came out a couple years ago that at first I wasn't really on board with because they touted it as National Treasure series gets Hispanic lead, and I'm like, why do we have to tout that? Why can't it be a new lead? It's a Hispanic female lead, by the way, but why do we have to market our TV shows and movies off of what the race of the main character is going to be? Right? I'm just saying. Yeah. But it's fine because it works in this case. It's not like, oh, I don't know, making Snow White and casting her with a Hispanic actress. You know, Snow White, the character who is supposed to have skin as white as snow. Yeah. Oh, but she's born in America. But they're not white as snow. And she's a horrible person in real life. And when she smiles, she's going to swallow you all. You know. Anyway, so I'm a fan of this franchise. The TV show was good. But like most things, Disney decided, one is enough, and didn't do any more. They did that so much, and they wonder why people can't get invested in the stuff they're putting out there on Disney Plus now. I wonder why they're not watching stuff. Because they think you're going to cancel it after one season. Look at the track record here. National Treasure TV series. Gone after one season. That John Stamos basketball show. Gone after one season. Turner and Hooch. Gone after one season. Mighty Ducks Game Changers had 2 seasons. Gone after that. It's, they just, yeah. And not only are they gone, are they not doing anymore, they're taking them off of Disney Plus. Now, I'm someone who hates when a streaming service takes things off of it. I understand Netflix or Tubi, they don't always have the licenses to have those movies. I get it. But these are Disney licensed movies or shows. They should not be taking stuff off of it if they're by Disney, created by Disney. There's some, you can't even watch the original under wraps on Disney. You can watch the remake and its sequel. How they made that I don't know, but you can watch the original under wraps. The good one. You can watch it on YouTube. It's a decent quality. There's other ones you can't watch on Disney Plus too. Like, I think Smart House is there. I hope it is. Like, there's other ones you can't watch on that. It's just like should be but aren't. I don't know. National Treasure stars Nicolas Cage as Benjamin Franklin Gates. Yep, that's his name. Who is told of a treasure by his grandfather. About treasure, like the biggest treasure in the entire world. Something that was gathered by the Freemasons, and in the present time, he searches out to find it, and it leads him to the Declaration of Independence. So their big main plot is they have to steal it and have to figure out a way to find this treasure. So we start with a flashback, young Benjamin Franklin Gates meets his grandpa, played by a Christopher Plummer cameo. It's great to see Christopher Plummer. I love Christopher Plummer, but it's a real cameo, and this is the only movie you get him in. But he tells a story of Thomas Gates, the great-grandfather, the grandfather's father, who knew a Freemason named Thomas Carroll, or Charles Carroll. Mr. Carroll told him about a treasure that existed. And so the Gates family has been trying to find it. However, Patrick Gates, Patrick Henry Gates, yep, Ben's father thinks it's a bunch of bullshit and poppycock. And all it will do to clue after clue after clue after clue. If there's one thing about this that gets overdone, especially in the sequel, is the clues. How many times do we have to go from place to place? Oh, this is going to here, and it's take a clue. No, it's another clue. It's another clue. I'm kind of with Sean Bean, at the beginning of this, where it's like, you said the treasure was going to be here. And I said, no. He says, like, no, I said it might be here. Because you don't know. No one knows. That was kind of an English, because you don't know. No one knows, okay? It's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. As soon as you see Sean Bean, you're like, so he's the bad guy. But he doesn't die, though. Because it's Sean Bean. So he's either a bad guy or he's a character that's going to die. I mean, even his character in The Lord of the Rings, what is it? Boromir? What's his name? I don't remember. There's a lot of weird names in those movies. Had a questionable morality. Well, yet again, the ring does sort of warp your morality a little bit. But, you know, it warps the morality of men. But, yeah, so the Charles Carroll told Thomas Gates that the secret lies with Charlotte. Charlotte is a ship that is sunk in the Antarctic, whatever. And so they find it, but there's no treasure that leads to a clue and a Meerschaellen pipe. For now on, we'll just call it the pipe, because I used to think it was Michelin, but the subtitles say it's Meerschaellen. Sean Bean is British, so it sounds like Michelin. Meerschaellen. I'm just gonna call it the pipe. And they figure out that it leads them to the Declaration of Independence. This is where the morality gets a little bit iffy. So I'm just going to call him Sean Bean. Sean Bean's first instinct is to steal the Declaration of Independence. And Ben is like, no, you can't do that. It's bad. However, once everything gets going, he comes up with the idea that the only way to stop Ian from stealing it himself is to steal it themselves. Because, like, obviously that's the way you're going to go. It's the obvious way to do it. But in order to introduce another character who's the main character in this movie, you have to kind of go through the motions of trying to tell someone so this character can be introduced. So, after Ian tries to kill them, they get away, and they try to tell people what's going on. No one believes them. And I'm telling you, okay? It's something I've thought for a long time. If you say something to this effect, they'd probably believe you. Because everyone they tell thinks it's too protected, there's too much security, and no one can get into it, it's safe. And to that, I would say, well, I thought the Titanic was safe, nothing could happen to it, and that everything was okay. Look what happened there. It just goes to prove you can never be too careful about something. Say something to that effect, and it'll make them think twice. Right? But no. But he introduced himself as Mr. Brown, by the way, because his family is not a very known, well-loved family, you know. Like I said, he comes up with the idea that he has to steal it himself, and this is where it gets kind of dodgy for me. So he breaks in. Riley is on the computer there, which if you don't know, if you don't pay attention to my channel, that's a computer. But I call it the computer because one day, I don't know, I was being goofy and I said it, and so now it's a thing. About my computer I used to have. Let me get on the computer. My friend's like, huh? This computer, computer. Just like I call a calculator, quackulator. Anyway, so he goes in, he sneaks it. Riley's got the security mixed up so they don't see it. But he uses Abigail. So they meet Abigail. I forgot to mention. They meet Abigail, who's played by Diane Kruger. She doesn't believe them. She's missing one of those buttons. It's like or it's a coin or a button or something. It's George Washington's campaign buttons is what they are. And she gets that one from Ben or Mr. Brown. And Mr. Brown. I want you, Mr. Brown. Think of it as a broomstick now. I want you, Mr. Brown. Why is it always a white rabbit? But, so he steals it. Then he walks through the gift shop where a lady sees him, thinks he's trying to steal a replica, and ends up buying that and another replica. We find out because he gives the fake to Abigail, who's then caught by Sean Bean, who's also there to steal it. And so they could have just let her go, but I think he figured, well, once they find out that it's a fake, they'll kill her. So he saves her, and they run off. Now, again, she's ready to go tell anyone. Even at one point, she tries to take off with the declaration when he gives it to her. He's like, no, you can go. And she's like, no, I'm not going anywhere with it. Well, I'm going anywhere without it. And she's like, you're not going anywhere with it. So they decided to have to get these letters. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be like so particular on this. I'm not going to remember everything. Okay? There's these letters that were sent to someone. And so they have some sort of key in them. And his dad has them. He has scans, but his place is no go. Because he used a credit card to buy the Declaration of Independence twice. So, yeah. But then again, because he was trying to use cash and he didn't have enough, we take all major credit cards. Well, then I'll take another one. So they have to go to his dad's house, John Voight, playing Patrick Henry Gates. So they go to his house, and they use lemon juice. Lemon juice. Oh, hey, there you go. All right. Cooking with Keaton. Look it up. Because, this from episode of the Sack Files, I knew what they were going to do to lemon juice because of an episode of the Sack Files. Lemon juice lets you see stuff that is written in invisible ink. They did that. The whole thing was that Zach, because the show, I want to talk about the show eventually, is that weird things happen to Zach Greenberg. So he drinks lemon juice or lemonade, whatever, and he turns invisible. And then to get it back, he's got to drink it again, I think. I'm not exactly sure. Or it eventually wears off, I think. I don't know. By the way, in 2 seasons, they never actually explain why that weird stuff happens to him. But I think it's fine that it wasn't explained. But because of that show, I knew that that's what they're doing lemons. They're going to make it so we're seeing it back. But they couldn't get it, so they need heat. So they breathe on it. Of course, Patrick doesn't know, Ben's dad doesn't know what it is once he finds out he's freaking out. So we have to make it look like you broke in here. So tie me up and leave. Well, he needs those letters. The Silence Dugat letters. I think it's Silence Dugat letters. But he donated them to the Smithsonian. So they gotta go there and they gotta look up which letter, and they use this little boy to do it. Riley uses this little boy to do it. Which ends up leads them to the Liberty Bell. Yeah. Where they find the special glasses that helps them read the back of the decoration, which leads them to a church. But Ian catches up with them because they have to separate. Ben gets caught by the FBI, and Ian gets called by Abigail and Riley because they need help. He's the only one who can do it, so he helps Ben escape. And they get to that church. They find out it's underneath the church, these ruins. And then we play a little game. Who can bluff and who cannot? See, once they get there, they find that there's nothing. So, Sean Bean is just like, okay, well, I'm going to leave you here and we're going to leave now. I don't know what he thought he was going to do. After that, like, is he just going to give up on the treasure or what? So, this is where Patrick says, well, actually, it's the lantern. It's the lantern that was put up by the guy to tell Paul Revere that the British were coming. 1 if by air, 2 if by sea. They came by air, 1 lantern. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, because apparently he's like, okay, fine. Wait, you gonna leave us? You gonna take us with you? Why? Why do I need to do that? Well, what if we lied? Did you? What if there's another clue? Well, then I know where to find you. So they leave, and it turns out it's bullshit. I don't know how true this is to American history. Apparently, it was 2 lanterns because they came by sea, which it's 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. I don't know what's that air. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. They came by land. I don't know why I said air. Never mind. But I guess they came by sea. And apparently, it wasn't even Paul Revere that said that. Look, we learned it in school. Don't second guess history books, okay? I'm just saying. Well, apparently there's a secret passage there, which leads to a room that also has nothing in it. So they come to believe that someone found the treasure and took it, and they just never knew. However, they gotta realize there has to be a way out, because the elevator is gone. There's gotta be another way, or whatever it is. So they find another secret passage, which leads them to the actual treasure. And everyone is happy, especially Riley, who sees stairs. Like, Riley, are you crying? Look, stairs. Yes, and it's a big-ass treasure. Bigger than anything you can imagine. And for the first time in an adventure film, nothing bad happens to this treasure. It's not destroyed. They're not forced to leave it behind. They're fine, and the treasure is kept. Not by them, but it's kept. What character I forgot to mention is Special Agent Sandusky with the FBI, played by, what's his name? He was from Dusk Till Dawn, and he was the fixer in Harvey Keitel. Didn't even look at it. Harvey Keitel. He's been following them ever since the Declaration was stolen. So he makes a deal. He's like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, well, I want to share the treasure. They said it was too big for any one man. Spread it, share it, museums and whatever. And I want the finding of the treasure to be attributed to the entire Gage family with the assistance of Riley Poole. I want Abigail to go free, and I would really like not to go to prison. It's like, well, someone's got to go to prison. So he tells them where Ian is, and Ian and his goons get arrested. And I like this shot Would they get arrested and Shaw's bent, or not Shaw, um, Ian's bent over the thing, and it cuts to some steps of some building, and Nicolas Cage just kind of walks out like, gotcha. However, this would not hold up in a court of law whatsoever. They'd be like, well, yeah, you caught a criminal, but you still stole the Declaration of Independence. So you still go to prison. Oh, believe me, the sequel gets even more questionable with what he gets away with. We'll get to that, but it's worse. And apparently, he was offered 10% of the treasure, and he said that was too much. And Riley is upset about that. He goes, you go ahead and you have fun. You got the girl. And they're like, yeah, you're right. I did. Yeah. Huh? And he's like, well, you go ahead and you have fun while I sit on a measly 1%. And there's this beautiful red convertible. And I'm like, dude. And even Nicolas Cage is like, oh, you poor thing. Or something like that. And he has this house, which he starts to ramble on why it's so significant. But he's like, oh, yeah, Sunderland did something and they had fun. That's good. And, yeah, so then Abigail gives him a map to where does it lead? The bedroom, probably. It's a sex joke. Sex! And then Riley drives off and, well, it's the other way around. Riley drives off, then the map happens, and they live happily ever after until the sequel. Well, we gotta do the sequel thing where sequel things happen. I mean, yeah. You know how in Ghostbusters 2, they kind of had to redo some stuff? Yeah, that. Probably not as much as that, but that. I'm just saying. Yeah, pretty good. I've always liked this movie since it came out. It's one of those I like to watch. It's Nicolas Cage, so of course I have fun with it, you know. So, yeah. So tomorrow, it's Thursday. What are your thoughts on National Treasure? Leave a comment, social, like, share, and subscribe. Tomorrow is Thursday. Originally, I was going to do the Apple Dumpling Gang, but I changed my mind just because, I don't know, I said I wasn't going to do sequels. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. So, that's changed to Tron. Yeah, I'm going to do Tron. And then Saturday's review has also changed from Apple Dumpling Game Rides again to not Tron Legacy because I don't have it, but it'll be another sequel I'm going to do. And you're going to question why I'm doing that, but I haven't done the first two. I'll talk about it when I get to it. But I have my reasons. I'll briefly touch on those two. But, yes, it's Tron. Movie I've watched once. I don't even remember how I watched it. Did I rent it? Did I find it on YouTube one time? I watched it somehow. Disney Plus wasn't a thing yet, but I watched it once. And I bought the Blu-ray. And that's not how I watched it. Because I haven't watched that Blu-ray since I bought it. But, yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.